So, hi everybody. I am away at the moment. I'm in Germany, but I wanted to just make this short video where I share 15 things I wish I knew when I first got ME, CFS, and fibromyalgia. And if you've got conditions like long COVID, then you might find some of the tips that I'm sharing helpful as well. So, if you are watching live, do say hi. If you're watching replay, just put a hashtag replay. And I'd be curious to know which of these tips most resonate with you. So when I first got ME/CFS fibromyalgia, I was at a loss. I was overwhelmed with the symptoms that I was experiencing. I was confused and desperate for answers. I didn't get any really useful guidance from the doctors I saw. They were very supportive, but they didn't really know how to help. As I went along, I started telling them the things that I was doing to try and get my health back, and they were very supportive. So yeah, just let me know. I think someone's sharing a message. So someone's saying hi, Claire saying hi. Nice to have you join me, Claire. This is a bit of an impromptu live because I was having some technical issues. But so let me dive into this, and as I say, let me know which one resonates with you. I wish someone had sat me down and told me what I'm about to share with you, because these 15 insights really helped me understand the illness, reduce my symptoms, and help me move towards recovery. And I did go from not being able to walk for 1 minute at times to being able to work again, live my life, go to festivals, play sport again, etc. I have slowed down a bit due to an injury, but life is still great. As I say, I'm in Germany. I'm going to a wedding tomorrow, and then I'm coming back to the UK and going to a festival. So, number one, stress isn't always bad. In the short term, stress can help you survive, it can help you focus, and it can help you perform. Number two, the problem is that chronic stress makes it more likely that you get diseases that make you sick, and stress can keep you sick. So long-term stress can dysregulate your nervous system, and this suppresses healing. Number three, more stress equals more symptoms. When your nervous system is dysregulated, you experience more pain, fatigue, brain fog, and other symptoms. And you've probably got your own experience of this. I can remember a time when I was feeling really stressed and my symptoms were really accentuated. And actually, when I realized that I needed to kind of slow my mind down, then actually after a few hours my symptoms actually reduced. This brings me on to point 4. Your mind can activate the stress response. If you have beliefs like I'll never recover, or I'm broken, I know other people have recovered but I don't know if I'm capable, this is going to turn up the stress and it's going to hinder your body's attempts to heal. It's going to worsen symptoms. Point 5, fear of symptoms fuels the stress cycle. So if every symptom triggers the alarm, then your brain is staying in the protective state, and that can make you feel worse. Number 6, your brain can be trained to respond differently. Okay, so believing that healing is possible, that you're not broken, that ups and downs are normal, that symptoms aren't in themselves a negative sign, we can start to change the way we think about symptoms. You could say, this symptom that I'm experiencing is a sign that I've overdone it again. I can't navigate recovery. I can't support my body's healing. If you say to yourself, well, actually, this is part of being human. We all make mistakes. I can learn from this. And symptoms are my body's way of trying to protect me. And it's okay for me to just accept these symptoms and have a sense of trust that the more I do that, those symptoms are going to pass. Okay, this can help calm your physiology. And when our physiology is in that calm state, the body can start doing important repair work. Number 7, hope isn't false, it's medicine. A sense of agency, a sense that you can influence your health, your recovery, helps regulate your body and mind. Okay, that's important. I'll maybe say it again. If you have that sense of agency, that sense of belief in recovery, this helps regulate your body and mind. You know that experientially, that when you're scaring yourself silly by the things you're saying to yourself, conversely, by reassuring yourself, just like if you reassured a friend who was saying all that stuff, they'd be comforted by that. Okay, we know from research that optimists have better health outcomes than pessimists. Okay, so point 8, you can rewire your brain to respond in resourceful ways, and this can support your healing. Okay, so neuroplasticity is the ability of your brain to change with use. So it's a real scientifically verified concept, okay? And whatever we practice, we get good at. If I practice noticing symptoms and stressing out, I get good at that. If I practice noticing symptoms, reassuring myself, then that's going to be what I develop my skill set in around that response, okay? With practice, you can become more resilient, more grounded. So point 9, your emotional brain is always trying to protect you. It's working with your thinking brain, a part of your thinking brain, I call it the problem solver, to number 1, keep you safe, number 2, ensure that you're fulfilled. Okay, your emotional brain wants both of those things for you. So you could be just lying in bed, you feel safe, but you're not going to be feeling fulfilled. And if you start experiencing frustration, boredom, that's your emotional brain telling you that what you're doing isn't meeting your needs. And it's important to find even small ways, doing something for 1 minute that's going to meet a need. It might be having a quick phone call or sending a message to someone, voice messages, just letting them know you're thinking about them, and having some human connection, having some fun, having a little bit of stimulation in the right amount. Okay, your emotional brain wants both of those things for you. Number 1, safety. Number 2, fulfillment. Number 10, your emotional brain speaks through symptoms. So when you experience emotions, sensations, symptoms, these are all signals, and it's an invitation to listen, to tune in, to make sense of those signals. Okay, so sure, sometimes you might be feeling strong symptoms, and it might be a call for deep rest and relaxation. And we'll get on to what else it might mean in a moment. Okay, so your emotional brain speaks through symptoms. Okay, number 11, many of us have been taught not to listen. We learn to suppress or repress our emotions, to push through the pain. We thought that's what we needed to do. Okay, but that doesn't work long term. And you've probably experienced that. I work a lot with people. When I start working with them, they say, yeah, I used to push through all the time, and I'm having to learn to listen to my body. Okay. Number 12, if you ignore signals, your emotional brain will shout louder. So, as I say, emotional suppression, emotional repression. Suppression is when we consciously decide not to respond to a sensation or emotion or symptom. Repression is when that happens subconsciously. We don't even realize we're doing it. Okay? Your body will do whatever it takes to get your attention. It will turn up the volume of those emotions or sensations. Point 13, unlucky for some, but in this case, I think it's going to be useful. Listening and responding helps symptoms soften. So when you listen to your body's signals, it will turn down the volume. It'll stop sending those signals, and it starts sending energy and peace. Think about that. When have you had the experience where you experienced emotion or sensation? Might be, I was talking about this a while back, having a lump in your throat because you feel upset. Might Might be like you feel some discomfort. Someone asks you, makes a request, and sometimes it's a request that's not really asked in the spirit of would it be okay. You feel some discomfort and in your stomach, and you listen to that, and you say, actually, no, that doesn't feel okay for me. And it might be a bit uncomfortable if you're not used to doing that. But once we get more comfortable with speaking our truth, you'll experience a good feeling from doing that. And let me know in the chat if that's something you've experienced. You've set a boundary and you get good feelings. That's your emotional brain, as I was mentioning earlier, sending that good energy because you've listened. And that's what your emotional brain wants for you. It wants you to listen and explore taking action. And it's not too worried about you getting it right. It's more interested in you listening, okay, and attempting to find solutions. Okay, so point 14, rest isn't always the answer. Sometimes it might be what you need. You know, sometimes I think I've had a really busy time the last couple of weeks, and before I went away one afternoon, oh, that's right, I was on the train coming back from a family gathering on Tuesday, and I had a little snooze for about half an hour, and I felt so much better for it. Okay, because it had been quite a long day. Woken up quite early, travelled down to Kent to Sussex to meet up with family and stuff, and I felt really good for it. So sometimes rest is what we need, but other times it might be that we need to tune into what's going on emotionally, make sense of those emotions. So, for example, sometimes if I notice I've got tension in my the back of my neck, I've tuned in, and I remember on several occasions realizing I was feeling frustrated, and I was feeling ultimately frustrated with myself. Initially, sometimes the frustration is with the other people. Maybe someone's behaving badly, and I feel annoyed that I'm having to set a boundary, but that's because I had some discomfort around setting boundaries. And I also realized that I was frustrated with myself for instance, not setting better boundaries. And by really tuning into that and really feeling that frustration, allowing myself to feel that frustration deeply, and considering what needs to happen for me to let go of this frustration, I need to forgive myself. And by doing that, I remember on one occasion, quite strong symptoms just over a period of 3 or 4 hours just disappeared. And I had expected for those symptoms to last for quite a long time. So, rest may be the answer, but it's not always the answer. Consider whether you've got a need to process emotions, whether you need to express something, whether you need some fun, joy, connection. Okay? Your body might not need more stillness. It might need that you connecting to your truth, speaking out, setting boundaries, having connection. Okay? 15, last but not least. It's important to remind ourselves that healing isn't linear. Setbacks or an increase in symptoms, sensations, emotions aren't failure. Okay? They are part of the healing journey. They're not a sign that you're doing something wrong. What's really important is how we respond to them. And by learning to respond to them with more pragmatism, with more patience, acceptance, compassion, and trust, that's going to support the healing process. So I do appreciate how challenging having ME, CFS, fibromyalgia, long COVID can be, because I've been there. I had those conditions. I had ME, CFS, and fibromyalgia for about 8-9 years. Okay, and as I say, at one point I was very low in my functioning level. So healing and recovery are possible. Healing is about becoming whole. Recovery is about level of functioning. Okay, the more you understand your mind-body system, the mind-body connection, the more empowered you become. Recovery is possible. For some, it's fast. I've had clients who literally got better in one day, in a week, in a month. And I've had clients who took longer. I took longer. And I realized part of the reason I took longer was I was getting in my own way. And actually, an important realization is I needed help. I couldn't do it on my own. So if you want support, you're welcome to join my Facebook group. I usually post content every day and share videos, etc. And I've had people say to me, I've not worked with them. They've said the information you've shared has really helped me. Okay, you can see some of these comments on YouTube. Okay, you're also welcome to join the resilience group coaching. I do that twice a month. There's no charge for that. You're welcome to make a donation if you wish, but it's my way of giving something back. Okay, so you're most welcome to join that. And if you do join, then you get access to Facebook group with the recordings, so you can look up any topic you want some help with. And for many of the topics, we've talked about that in the session. Okay, and it's a fun way of connecting to other people, realizing you're not alone. Okay, and if you like more information about that, just put group below and I will add the link. So consider what's important as you focus on your path. Okay, consider what it is you need. Remember, you're not broken. Your body is trying to protect you, and it can learn new ways that actually help you expand your life. Okay, safety is about, let me rephrase that. Sometimes people are focused on safety. They lie in their bed, they don't do much, but that's going to cause problems because your emotional brain wants you to have fun, connection, stimulation, etc. Okay, so we need to find small, safe ways of getting some of that. And over time, because you're listening to your emotional brain, it will turn down the signals and you'll start to expand your life. So let me know which of those tips resonated with you. Okay, leave a comment, be really useful to know. Let me know if there's any topics you'd like me to go deeper on in another video. Always wishing you great health. So thanks for watching this unplanned impromptu session. Keep going, you've got this. Wishing you great health. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye for now.